Hmm, that's weird. My quote for the day is stuck over the webcam. Cheeky little trick. But yeah, this one's from Ratatouille. You must not let anyone define your limits because of where you come from. Your only limit is your soul. Roll the intro.
Like into me, no doubt that I never be without my damn brain. Closed mouth, I'm clever and I know my damn shame. No cloud to the better, no one know my damn name. No bow, that's your what I guess we about to cascade.
Yeah, I kind of said that in a bit of a stilted way because my handwriting's terrible, but I think it's a great quote. I love the film Ratatouille. I love most films Pixar, to be honest, but yeah, nah, I just thought it'd be a good one to get cracking with today. Uh, yeah, I mean, I keep thinking like, oh, I should be reporting what's changed since I last filmed a video, but to be honest, here I am. I'm just sat there nothing. But I'm glad to be sharing this time with you, even though technically I'm just kind of sat here talking to my laptop, but it works well enough for now. But yeah, I hope everything is going well with you. I hope that, whatever works in progress you have are progressing in some way. Or if not, that at least you have some kind of goal to be working towards. I was thinking about like a conversation I was having with a friend, and she told me about this thing about external and internal locuses or loci in terms of like your brain and how you see the world. And um, I'm someone I have a lot of internal loci. I often focus on how like my internal workings affect the world around me or my life itself, and I'm often thinking if a certain thing goes a certain way, it's because of the influence I've had on it, good or bad. And kind of fits into a bit of what I was talking about last video with the matrix of positive, negative, good and bad for you kind of thinking. And yeah, I kind of realized there's a lot of times in my life where things go wrong for reasons out of my control, and I still find reasons to blame myself. I feel like I'm not the only one to do this, but it's still yeah, it's something interesting to think about. And yeah, I often use light-hearted films like Pixar films to just pick up my mood when I'm feeling a bit down. Because I don't know, there's such a good combination of like weighty kind of emotionality to lots of Pixar films, but also that kind of joyous, light-hearted nature, which is just kind of unmatched by a lot of work. I'm a big fan of like loads of animated films, but it's just, in my opinion, Pixar's always belonged in its own category ever since. Like, I always used to watch The Incredibles when I was younger. Obviously, Toy Story, Monsters Inc. was my kind of stuff. But even when I've got older and I've studied films and I've become more appreciative of it as an art form, they only kind of solidify themselves as masterpieces. Most of them, I my personal top three is Incredibles, Monsters Inc., Toy Story 2. But there's so many that loiter just around that zone. I'm a really big fan of Up, and I really like Coco as well. Actually, though I'm kind of biased because the Mexican Dia de los Muertos stuff it runs parallel with a lot of the Spanish culture, particularly the stuff with the grandma. I thought was really good. But that's kind of, it's not really a spoiler, but if you haven't seen Coco, go and watch it. Like, genuinely, it's amazing. The music in that is underrated as well, in my opinion, because it's not really like a musical film, but yeah, it's very jaunty and fun, and it's kind of very classical to that style. But yeah, I don't know why I felt impassioned to speak about Pixar, though I could literally just sit here and do a whole like 10-minute video about animated films. Talk to me about Brother Bear and Emperor's New Groove, and this could be a 20-minute video. um, yeah, I've been thinking recently about making some kind of specifically film related content, just in terms of maybe discussions or reviews, or maybe work my way towards a video essay. But I'm gonna have a video essay due for film kind of work at uni, so maybe I can have those two paths intercede. But yeah, I've been thinking recently. I want to make a kind of video where I will give like my favorite film from each like famous director. Or like a film that I'd recommend for someone to get into that director's films, So like my pick, for example, for Tarantino would be Pulp Fiction. That's because that's my personal favorite. Like, I studied it at A level at film studies and stuff. Or like Edgar Wright, I'd probably pick someone like Scott Pilgrim or Hot Fuzz. Yeah, just stuff like that where I'd kind of break down each director, I'd pick a film, I'd discuss it briefly, I'd kind of talk about how generally this might link to other films, and say like, oh, if you like this, I'll recommend this as well, kind of thing. But I don't know, it's kind of a saturated market, but at this rate, it's just a good opportunity for me to platform my thinking and kind of give my opinions on stuff. I keep taking sips of coffee to fill the awkward silences of my own brain. It's interesting. I've thought a lot recently about, like, there's certain times in conversations where, you know, I can happily sit in like a kind of comfortable silence, and sometimes the silence feels like it feels strange to me and uncomfortable. Like, I don't want it to, whatever conversation's going on, to run out or run dry. So I always kind of, I find myself urgent to give another reason to be speaking, you know, like jump into something else quickly, you know, even when sometimes it might be worth just sitting and settling on a particular, you know, poignant point or something. Yeah, sometimes I'm like a conversational train. It's like there's no stop and there's only forward. That's something I probably need to focus on. But here I am, just speaking non-stop towards my camera, so I can't say that it's working out all the time. But yeah, I mean, right now not much is changing. I'm trying to be appreciative, like, as I'm sure it was capable of seeing in the last video. I'm fluctuating a lot. I'm up, I'm down. I'm struggling to maintain balance. So, yeah, I don't even know where to go with that. Just in general, maybe it kind of links back to what I was talking about with internal and external locuses. Like, I need to focus on what I can affect, not what I can't affect. You know, that's true for a lot of parts of my life, but I guess particularly when it comes to like being situated here in Bristol, not being able to go to university and do like the practical elements of my course, you know, that's stuff that's out of my control, and it spends a lot of time kind of dwindling in my mind, and I can't really help that. I mean, I feel grateful enough that I have a course that I'm really raring to go back to, really want to get stuck in with. Yeah, I don't know, I find it so hard to be motivated to work at home, honestly. Like, I spent so much time in my gap year in lockdown just kind of at home, sitting around, finding stuff to occupy my time with. And now that I actually have work to be doing and stuff, I still find myself procrastinating, you know. And a few videos ago, I said I conquered my procrastination, but realistically, I just got ahead of the curve for a slight second. But, you know, I should have reveled in the time before the first deadline of the year, because now it's just like when one deadline's done, there's three popping up. It's like a hydra, you know, cut off the head, three more spring up. But yeah, I mean, I kind of touched up on it in a video when I was talking about the Percy Jackson series, but I'm a big fan of Greek mythology because of those books. Yeah, I remember, like, even the Clash of the Titans and Wrath of the Titans weren't even that good films, but I do remember just thinking, oh nah, this is sick, just because of the mythological elements. Like Pan's Labyrinth is one that really stands out for me because you know, a lot of that film is about the Spanish Civil War, and it's a really well done film. I'm a big Guillermo del Toro fan. Christ, I really fucking stumbled over that. Sometimes switching between English pronunciation and Spanish pronunciation is tough for me, but yeah, like, I was speaking earlier today on a video call with some uni friends about the film Pacific Rim. Like, I remember the last day of year 7, like in secondary school, I was just so hyped for a film like that. Just, it was the perfect age, like 12, 13, like massive robots versus massive alien monsters. Like, and I remember the opening like battle is Gypsy Danger, like the main guy, and his brother in this massive mech robot fighting this like hammerhead shark like beast coming out of the ocean. And like when it screamed, like the cinema screen shook, and I was just sat there kind of staring in awe, like, this is actually incredible. And that moment really stuck with me. So ever since then I've been a big Del Toro fan. I really like the Hellboy series. I think the practical effects in that are awesome. But yeah, apparently a movie's been on my mind, so here I am spouting it to you. But most of the stuff I recommend is stuff people have seen already, but that's just, sometimes I prefer to kind of circle around the familiar stuff rather than explore new stuff when there's so much to explore. Like, I always say this, but like, I've got an infinite list of films that I should have watched, or that I should be watching, or that, you know, I could watch, but instead, you know, I'll do another run through of watching Parks and Recreation, or you know, some other show like The Good Place or BoJack Horseman, but BoJack Horseman's only for when I'm feeling a certain way, because uh, I'm not even gonna get into it. But I had a dispute recently with someone, you know who you are, about the show, and honestly, it's such an amazing show. I love BoJack Horseman. If you haven't seen it and you want to watch a show that makes you feel things, then watch it. But don't go in thinking that it's like a da 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 over the top comedy. It's like a lot of what you can get from it is like the subtle kind of unspoken, or like the patterns that emerge throughout the show that mirror life so accurately, even though it's set in a world that looks so silly and colorful and kind of unrealistic. That what it portrays is still real, and that's what I like about some stuff. It's just like you can explore a different format, or like something that's feels less real, but address it in a way that covers real topics, or have characterizations that are still, realistic or impressive in some way. But that was kind of an aimless way of going about things. I mean, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed recording it, so that's what I'm getting out of it. And yeah, thank you for the continued support. I hope that you, I don't know, have a good day, have a good evening, have a good life, Let's just keep moving forward and hope for the best.